Before Egypt's palaces gleamed with gold, before pharaohs were crowned and kingdoms carved from dust, there was Canaan, a land of wandering herds, open skies, and tents spread beneath the stars. And in that land, a boy named Joseph grew beneath the gaze of heaven. He was 17, the son of Jacob's old age, the beloved child of Rachel, whose beauty and sorrow lingered in her son's eyes. To his father, Joseph was more than a boy. He was the echo of a promise, the living memory of a love that had been buried on the road to Bethlehem. And Jacob's heart, heavy with loss, poured all its affection upon him. But such love, though pure, has its price, for in every heart where favor dwells, envy stirs in silence. Joseph's brothers watched as their father's eyes softened only for him, and what began as small bitterness soon deepened into hate. To Joseph the days seemed simple. He walked among the flocks, his hands calloused from labor, and his mind filled with the strange language of dreams. He saw symbols and stories, while others saw only stars. One night, sleep carried him beyond the pasture and into prophecy. In his dream, the sheaves of the field bowed before his own. Another night, the heavens themselves bent low. The sun, the moon, and 11 stars bowed before him in reverence. And Joseph awoke with awe and innocence, believing his brothers would rejoice to hear it. He told them plainly, "Hear, I pray you, this dream which I have dreamed." But instead of wonder, they gave him scorn. "Shalt thou indeed reign over us? Or shalt thou indeed have dominion over us?" they said. And they hated him yet the more for his dreams and for his words. When he told his father, Jacob rebuked him gently, yet pondered the meaning within his heart. For he too had once dreamed of ladders reaching heaven, and knew that sometimes the language of heaven is given only to those willing to bear its cost. And so it was that Jacob made for Joseph a coat of many colors. Woven by love, stitched with memory, it became the mark of distinction and division. Every thread shimmered in the sun, and the brothers, seeing it, felt the sting of being unseen. But the coat was not for vanity. It was a shadow of the robe yet to come, the garment of authority that God would one day place upon him in Egypt. What began as fabric became prophecy. Still, Joseph walked unguarded, innocent of their anger. He believed good of those who despised him, for he had not yet learned that jealousy can sharpen itself into cruelty. And while Joseph dreamed of stars, his brothers dreamed of ways to silence him. They spoke of him as a nuisance, a child who saw too much, and their words, whispered at first, grew louder each day. But the Lord saw. For every plot in darkness, God writes a counterplot in light. The hands that would throw Joseph into a pit were the same hands God would one day use to lift him to power. For his word says, "Surely the wrath of man shall praise thee." The season of testing was near, though Joseph knew it not. The hills of Hebron stood quiet beneath the morning sun, and his father sent him, saying, "Go, I pray thee, see whether it be well with thy brethren, and well with the flocks, and bring me word again." And Joseph, eager to serve, departed from the vale of Hebron, not knowing it was the last time he would walk his father's fields as a free man. In his heart there was no fear. For the innocent cannot imagine betrayal, and the favored do not see the envy that shadows them. He passed through valleys and dust, seeking his brothers among the pastures of Shechem. And a stranger found him wandering in the field and asked, "What seekest thou?" And he said, "I seek my brethren." The stranger's directions led him toward Dothan, a name that would forever mark the turning point of destiny. For in that field, unseen by Joseph, the dreams of heaven and the plots of men were about to collide. It is there the story changes its tone, from peace to peril, from favor to betrayal. But through it all, the hand of God moved, quiet, patient, unseen, preparing the way of salvation.